Okay, well, that's quite a mouthful there. So you said actions such as these suggest otherwise. Suggest meaning they suggest they're not interested in talks and they're going to go ahead with some kind of a. What action are you talking about?
One, the actions I've just pointed to.
What action?
The fact that Russia continues to engage in disinformation
Well,
campaigns.
you made an allegation that they might do that. Have they actually done it?
What we know, Matt, is what I have just said, that they have engaged in this activity, in this planning activity. But let me because obviously this is not the first time we've made these reports public. You'll remember that just a few weeks ago.
I'm sorry, made what report public?
If you'll let me finish, I will tell you what report we made public. We told you a few weeks ago that we have information indicating Russia also has already prepositioned a group of operatives to conduct a false flag operation in eastern Ukraine. So that, Matt, to your question, is an action that Russia has already taken.
It's an action that you say that they have taken, but you have shown no evidence to confirm that. And I'm going to get to the next question here, which is, what is the evidence that they? I mean, this is like crisis actors, really. This is like Alex Jones territory you're getting into now. What evidence do you have to support the idea that there is some propaganda film in the making?
Matt, this is derived from information known to the U.S. government, intelligence information that we have declassified. I think you know.
Okay, well, where is it? Where is this information?
It is intelligence information that we have declassified.
Well, where is it? Where's the declassified information?
I just delivered it.
No, you made a series of allegations and statements.
Would you like us to print out the topper? Because you will see a transcript of this briefing that you can print out for yourself.
That's not evidence, Ned. That's you saying it. That's not evidence. I'm sorry.
What would you like, Matt?
I would like to see some proof that you you can show that
Matt, you have been
that shows that the Russians are doing this. Ned, I've been doing this for a long time.
I know, that was my point. You have been doing this for quite a while. You know that when we declassify intelligence information, we do so in a means we do so with an eye to protecting sources and methods.
Is not going to fall. I remember a lot of things. So where is the declassified information other than you coming out here and saying?
Matt, I'm sorry you don't like the format, but we have declassified.
It's not the format; it's the content.
I'm sorry you don't like the content. I'm sorry you are doubting the information that is in the possession of the U.S. government.
No,
what I'm telling you is that this is information that's available to us. We are making it available to you in order for a couple reasons. One is to attempt to deter the Russians from going ahead with this activity. Two, in the event we're not able to do that, in the event the Russians do go ahead with this, to make it clear as day, to lay bare the fact that this has always been an attempt on the part of the Russian Federation to fabricate a pretext.
Yeah, but you don't have any evidence to back it up other than what you're saying. It's like you're saying, we think we have information the Russians may do this, but you won't tell us what the information is. And then when you're asked,
that is the idea behind deterrence, Matt. That is the idea behind deterrence. It is our hope that the Russians don't go forward with this.
Is you say, I just gave it to you. But that's not what
you seem not to understand. You seem not to understand the idea of deterrence. We are trying to deter the Russians from moving forward with this type of activity. That is why we're making it public today. If the Russians don't go forward with this, that is not ipso facto an indication that they never had plans to do so.
But then it's unprovable. I mean, my God, what is the evidence that you have that suggests that the Russians are even planning this?
Matt,
I'm not saying that they're not. But you just come out and say this and expect us just to believe it without you showing a shred of evidence that it's actually true. Other than when I ask, or when anyone else asks, what's the information? You said, well, I just gave it to you, which was just you making a statement.
Matt, you said yourself, you've been in this business.
Welcome to the show. It's Audibly Fat. How you been? What is up? We're on the brink of war, I guess. According to the State Department. You could take their word for it. How's everybody doing? It's been a minute. Been a while. Yeah. How's everybody been? You been good? How's 2022 treating you? It's treating me great. I just got done being sick. But here, let's start the show, and we'll get into this shit.
I wonder how many of you remember the boogie woogie craze.
I'll be in New York, gangsters. Know a nigga that'll shoot you for a 10. Make my options shoot in the foreign. When my nigga shoot up the flame. I'll be in New York with the gangsters. Know a nigga that'll shoot you for a 10. Make my options shoot in the foreign. When my nigga shoot up the flame. If I feel gotta take that. Shots hit you with that. Or you could get two shot and pour niggas acting up. So niggas acting up. Crazy was acting tough. Niggas slapped them up.
Yo, how's everything going? You doing good? Man, we're on the brink of war. Allegedly, it's not going to happen. Yeah, everything's. What else going on? Joe Rogan's a Nazi now, or he's being canceled because of actually the video that's being canceling him, that's being reposted right now, is really old. Not really old, but years old. I've seen it a while ago, and I knew it was only a matter of time before somebody compiled, thousands of hours of this guy speaking into something. And I saw on Twitter that Alex Jones apparently originally made that video. He got a shout out at the top of the video, or the top of the show. Shout out to Matt Lee. Apparently a real journalist still exists. This guy called out the bullshit. They're, trying to just lie and say that Russia's getting ready to do a false flag and he literally used the word crisis actors in his opening statement. This guy calls him out. It was like, dude, you sound like a lunatic, and we're supposed to just take your word for it. I was honestly shocked when I saw the video. I didn't really know journalists, because usually they're just stenographers. To be in that room, to have a White House press pass, to be in that room, to sit there, and especially when it's just remarks like that from, I forget that guy's name, Edward something. He used to work for the CIA. That's literally a CIA agent that guy's talking to like that. It's pretty cool. I saw that video. I was like, fuck yeah, man, that shit don't happen. When was the last time that shit happened? You don't really see that. They're all stenographers, especially to be in that room. So to hear someone call that out immediately, it was pretty cool. Even if it didn't, you can't have much teeth to it anyways, but just to put them on the spot for 3 or 4 minutes, make them sweat that shit out. How many false wars have they led us into? Syria, Kosovo, Iraq, obviously, Somalia, Yemen, Libya. Like, there's always somebody standing there. Like, I could see it on C-SPAN. They're like standing there with like holding up a picture, or like you have what's his name, holding up a vial of anthrax, just like salt. Colin Powell. I can see him doing it on C-SPAN right now, just lying us into war. So it's good that at least at least one of these times was just like, what are you saying? Fucking stupid fuck. But yeah, everybody thinks we're on the brink of war with Russia. It's literally all people could talk about at work. It's just Russia. We're going to war with Russia. Biden's getting into war with Russia. He's going to get us into a world war. Can you believe this shit? And that's what they want you to think. That's just what's going on. You still don't have health care. So this is the new distraction of the week. It's just Ukraine. I think there's satellite images of heat maps of the largest artillery movement since the Cold War on the European continent, and it's 50 miles from the Ukrainian border in the Donbass. Like, come on, dude. What are we talking about? I still don't have fucking health care. I still have to wonder if I can go to the dentist this month or get my car fixed this month. Like, legitimately, I'm mortgage poor. I have no money right now. So I can't even I had to come home and find something. I had to pull something out of the freezer to thaw. I had to pull Sunday gravy out of the freezer to thaw. I got to heat up some fucking corn dogs because that's where I'm at. And everyone wants to talk at work, wants to talk to me about Ukraine. And I'm like, how about a raise? How about we unionize? How about, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are we really talking about here? Are you really going to buy? Everyone just sucks the distraction. They just suck the propaganda. They just suck the fear dick. They choke it right down, no questions asked. And it's just like, are you even like questioning why this is just happening again? And like it did in 2014 when Putin invaded Ukraine and Crimea, like he invaded, how many people died? These people are Russian. They're ethnically Russian. Like what is, he's not, like, you know what I mean? Like what is he doing? That's not what's happening. You're listening to Victoria Newland and like fucking like, come on, man, these people are all like war hawking. And it's just, you just swallow it every time. You swallow it every time, but you're the same people that'll be like, yeah, Iraq was bad. And it's just like, what do you mean it was bad? Like, oh, it was bad. They're all what the fuck? No, everybody just swallows it and they just accept. We're all just so placated. We're all so pacified. Everyone, that's the shitty thing about streaming services and 1,000 channels of cable and the internet and all this ability to pacify everybody is just out of control. And now there's no reason for anybody to stop and go, what the fuck? There's no reason for anybody to organize. And if you do, you'll be infiltrated. If you do get upset enough, if you do get quote unquote woke enough, if you do quote unquote radicalized enough, if you do anything, you're going to be infiltrated and marginalized and or prosecuted. So nothing's going to fucking happen. You're either conservative, keeping the status quo, or you're, shutting your mouth. Like, you might get somebody to, start a mask mandate or something, but you're not going to get anything else nowadays. I mean, and even those, they're lifting, and people are having meltdowns all around us. And because COVID is just, we're a corporate sacrifice zone, and COVID made it all too real for us, and it's a trauma that we haven't all accepted that, damn, our government is tyrannical. They do surveil us. They have overreached. They've destroyed every civil liberty we all have. We all really have nothing when it came down to it. They can do anything they want to us and without discretion. And when it came to really public health and taking care of us, they didn't do it. They left it up to the states because they didn't want to seem like the tyrant. And it's just like, wait, what? You are tyrants. Just lock us in our house and keep this shit from spreading. But they did, and they let it spread. And so now we all have it. And now the whole thing is you have to lift the mandates, because the sooner people get it, the sooner people get familiar with it, the sooner we can start to move past it and to mutate to something weaker. And I think that's what they're doing. I think that's obviously what they're doing. That's what they've been doing this whole time, especially when they're like, hey, we, 4 corporations, make that 3, 2, make that 3, made a vaccine, and that's going to be our only protection against this. And it's your choice. Figure it out. So from the get-go, they've never had our health in mind, and we never should have expected that because we don't have fucking healthcare. But yeah, things became more and more apparent in the last couple of years that we are a corporate sacrifice zone that get out there and work and keep the economy rolling, and fuck you. And we're going to keep the foot on the gas until the wheels fall off. And here's another war. How about that? Don't you hate? Do you remember Russians? And now they got everyone to be afraid of Russians. It's not just, the MSNBC liberals, like the Rachel Maddow liberals, that are afraid of Russia anymore because of Russiagate. That wasn't real. It's everybody. You got like the Tim Pools screaming on their podcast. They're like, acting like we're literally going to enter a nuclear conflict. Genuinely passing around the thought of, so Putin decides to invade Crimea. We attack. We respond. Z immediately takes Taiwan. What do you think? Like, he fucking says this shit and he's serious. Like, these people just like live in fucking Game of Thrones, Narniaville. Like this isn't gonna fucking happen, you fucking idiot. Like, dude, I mean, the Taiwan situation's been going on since the late 70s. So, well, it could have been resolved a long time ago. And I'm pretty sure we all know, despite what anybody feels about Russia, and you might think Putin's a gangster and that they're decrepit and all this shit, they have no infrastructure and they have no military, they have no discipline, or whatever you think. If you think they're broke, they have no GDP, the GDP is so low, the oligarchs have all the money, there's no defense spending. Like, no matter what you think, they would eviscerate anyone sharing a border with them, short of China, and they don't have to fight China, they're friends with China now. So they're literally running military operations in the Indian Ocean, Syria, China, and Russia. So, yeah, they have nothing to be afraid of. And if they want, my point is, if they want Ukraine, they could fucking take it. And there's nothing anyone could do about it. There's nothing NATO or us could do about it. So I'm not going to waste any more time about this shit. It's just like that fucking press secretary or whoever he was. He wasn't the press secretary. Isn't that the ginger chick? The ginger chick with an Asian name. She looks Irish. She sounds like she's half Chinese and from the Bay Area. Jen Psaki. Sounds like she's no, fuck. It wasn't her. That's the press secretary. It's the other dude. He's a CIA agent, literally. Yeah, but who gives a fuck? Because we're not going to go to war with Russia. That's my point. Is if they wanted Ukraine, they could take it. There's nothing we or NATO could do about it because it would be world war, and we don't want that. We don't want that funk. So it ain't going to happen. And we sanctioned. We spent the last, I don't know, however many years, 70 years, 60 years, 50 years, sanctioning these countries to death, especially since the 90s in Russia, sanctioning them to absolute death. And then and same with China, we drove them together. I mean, come on, man. This is what we did. We drove them together. Now they're homies. And these are logical conclusions. And I know we want war with them. I know we want war with China and Russia. I know that's the ultimate... it's the wet dream of these people, but it's not going to fucking happen, dude. It's not going to fucking happen. It's not going to happen. I don't buy it. I really fucking don't, dude. I really don't think Putin is trying to reestablish the Soviet Union and like these people are fucking... I don't buy any of it. I don't buy any of it at all. Until I see bombs drop, and even then... It's nowhere near even worrying about, in my opinion. Nowhere near. When you have the State Department literally using the term crisis actors, we're at a threat level yellow. What's lighter than a yellow? Because remember it was yellow, orange, red. It was like 3-tier system of threat level with terrorizers. So what would it be? It'd be I don't know, lighter than yellow. I know that. Fucking fully hydrated piss yellow. How about that? Kind of clear yellow, transparent yellow. But yeah, all the psychos at work are talking about it. The kid quit. This weird kid named Brandon. I'll just throw his name out there. I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna say where I worked, but his name was Brandon. Okay. Maybe I'll go back and edit that out. Who gives a shit? I'm gonna call him. His name wasn't Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. His name was Biden. Okay, so we'll just go with Brandon. So this kid Brandon worked at my job for a little while, and he had moved here from California, where I'm from the Bay Area. Not from the Bay Area. He's definitely from LA, from Southern California. I'm from the Bay Area. So anyways, he came out here, and I immediately, when people like, you move somewhere different and you're from the same place, you immediately go, where from, and you start talking. And I had to I had to work next to him one time just for a day. And I spent pretty much the whole day next to him, talking to him and get to know him. And it was a horrific experience. But he came here from, like I said, LA, and he came to a red state with good gun laws, in his opinion, because of Antifa. That's what he said to me. He said because of BLM and the Antifa people, they're fucking ruining California. They're literally burning the state down. And I'm just like, that's like, I'm telling you, I might have misordered it, but those statements were the statements. And that was the statement. And the sentence might be jumbled up, but that was the sentence. That was the statement. And I was just like, gun laws, like he said it all. He said gun laws, he said Antifa, he said BLM, he said ruining the state, and he said they're literally burning it down. And I was just like, whoa, what? Like, wait a second. Like, what are you talking about? And he just went into it and was just saying how, he didn't feel safe as an Asian American. He didn't feel safe around BLM. He didn't feel safe around Antifa types. He said that you can't be, he just went into it. And I just was, poking and prodding and just like, what do you mean? Just how are you anti-BLM? I'm just like, wait a second, what? Because I'm like, listen, man, listen. Like my own thoughts start running through my own head. Like wait, you're an Asian American, second generation, probably third maybe. And it's like, wait. Okay. Like, so when you immediately start hitting me with like legitimate patriotic white supremacist far right terminology and all of it out of the gate, and it's just and viewpoints and thoughts upon race and race relations. The viewpoint was so I was like, how did you get that, dude? And I knew it must have been his fucking dad or something, but it wasn't. His full-blooded Asian, but he got radicalized on the fucking internet. And from what his viewpoint is, you can't be anti-racist, you can't be for civil rights and be for Black Lives Matter. You can't be pro-BLM. This was his exact framing. You can't be pro-BLM, you can't be pro-Black civil rights and be stop Asian hate. You can't be one or the other, because he said all Asian hate comes from the Black community. And so it was just this bizarre. I heard him out because, your truth is your truth. So, I wanted to hear him speak his truth. So I let him speak. And I just, before I gave my opinion and really started to, try and dissect him and just at least lead him down, give him a different viewpoint from something, he can understand by the end of the day. That's what I tried to do. Was just present him a different perspective from the left of where he was from. Came at him from the left, but I tried to be far more, because he has the viewpoint of leftist ideals and as just wacky. And you could just tell this kid is just so fucking radicalized, and just, he was young enough to where I think he might have been, let me see, 2016... give or take. Yeah, I mean, he was probably a senior in high school, give or take. Trump was probably getting elected within the last year of his school, somewhere around his senior year, maybe going into it, maybe during it, or maybe after it, somewhere there. I'm just guessing, just by his age. Yeah, had to have been. So you could tell he got radicalized young, but that's the path he went down. And I was just like, wait, as a fucking... like, I don't like to use this term, but as a person of color, I don't know what else to call you, but as an Asian American, like, as an Asian kid, like, as an Asian dude, as an Asian guy, as a man of Asian descent, I'm not gonna say what country. I'm just so trying not to give away his identity. He's never gonna find this, but yeah, I'm just like, dude, how in the fuck are you anti? And it wasn't just like anti BLM and anti Black Lives Matter, the anti the movement. And I've heard a ton of arguments against this movement from people that trying to sound logical and all this. You know what I mean? Like, it's corporatized and like, you know, the chick who bought all the houses and shit. Like, I've even talked about that. Like, that's weird. So I've heard people try and rationalize skepticism of BLM, but just like the principle of the movement, to just be vehemently against the principle of a black civil rights solidarity, like wanting to be treated equally, because it's very obvious they are not. Like, there's no denying that. Any denial of that is denial of reality. I'm sorry, it just is. You just ignore it and you don't want to feel a part of it. It's not a part of your... That's what it is. We all get to cultivate our own little bubbles and curate our own little realities, and we all get, you know, confirmation bias. We all just get in bubbles of that, and it just like, nope, that's not in my purview. That's maybe yours. Slavery was a long time ago. Fuck you. I'm not racist. You're not gonna make me feel bad. But you have to acknowledge that black people have a tougher time than whites, right? Even if you don't want to talk about it, you have to acknowledge that. I think most people would. So to meet somebody who's not, especially a minority and Asian American, I'm just like, wait, what? Like, do you mean? Yeah, it was hours before I could speak, and it's just I immediately want to erupt and just like, wait, dude, do you know how many black people fought, bled, and died and have been drugged behind trucks and still are lynched to this day so you could have any rights as a person of color in this country? You know what I mean? Native Americans were slaughtered and showed solidarity well into the 60s and 70s and survived to this day to give you civil rights? Like, how do you not have respect and solidarity for them as a culture and as a people? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And like, what? So I want to just eviscerate this dude, and I'm just like, okay, I have to hear you out. And it's just, man, this kid's worldview is just like this podcast he ends up listening to is some Navy SEAL. That's what it ended up being. I'd never heard of this guy, but he's a Navy SEAL. And another one was like this other dude who lifts like, I fucking wanted to save him, but I was so many things he was saying and so many things I was saying and attacking and trying not to attack, but just like come at it from like a calm perspective, but try not to lash out at it and just belittle him because that was just I wanted to just tell him how fucking stupid he was. And it's like, all right, man, you don't know anything about the world. You don't even know anything about your own country. You don't know anything about your own state. You would do well to move to certain cities in California, certain neighborhoods in certain cities. You would do, you know what I mean? Hang out at certain areas, make different friends. Truly see a different perspective. Because I figured out where he's from, and very affluent area, incredibly affluent area. I know the area. The area is kind of famous. Not like Beverly Hills, much further than that, kind of towards the valley. But it's definitely, if I said it, it would be, I'm just trying not to give away. What county would that be? Near Orange County. Nice Orange County. So it's just like, wait, dude, like you're from an affluent area. So you've probably dealt with very little prejudice, being Californian and Asian and speaking English and having no accent. Yeah, I mean, you probably had not that bad a time compared to other minorities. And I understand that. There's a lot of Asians in California, especially in California. If you're going to have if you're Asian in America and you want to have the best go of it, your best bet is California, in my opinion. I mean, I haven't seen everywhere. I know New England has like a giant population, but like San Francisco is a Chinese city. Like that's part of its culture. And San Francisco is one of the 3 major cities in California. So, I mean, I've talked about it before. I know the term is terrible, melting pot, but like the Bay Area truly was an incredibly diverse and is to this day. Well, maybe not some parts, but it's changing all the time. But historically, it's been an incredibly diverse place. So I know as far as the totem pole of racial discrimination, where he fit in the area he had a better time than most minorities. So I could see how he developed this perspective, and just being a kid on the internet and being of his generation and being kind of rich, sheltered. And I just was like, dude, how the fuck, dude? And he's coming out here because he couldn't make the police academy. He's radicalized on Trump. He didn't get into the police academy and was like trying to settle for like some other stuff, but didn't like it, like EMT type of shit, but didn't like it, and couldn't become a firefighter for some reason. Can't remember that. And then now was going to, just the workforce, but just had those aspirations, had that vibe, had that ROTC, I want to be a cop vibe, had that, that bootlicker vibe. That motherfucker had it. His dad was probably in the military. And it's just, yeah, so throughout the day, man, the shit he said, like, I was just like blown the fuck away. I was like, what the fuck? And it kind of freaked me out because it turned, by the end of the day, it was like, I was like, hey, at the beginning, when we first started talking, we went in to our views on, culture and race, because he had some serious views on racial relations, and they were fucking kind of wonky. So we spent a lot of time on that, trying to understand where he was coming from, especially as a white guy. You know what I mean? As somebody who is treated and is perceived as white and mostly identifies as white, no matter what I am, what my blood says, I'm essentially a white guy, and I had a white experience. So I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I was just blown away. I slept under a Confederate flag in my dad's trailer. So I've heard some crazy shit, some fucking crazy shit on race. You know what I mean? Like, I watched my dad cheer on shock and awe. I watched him cheer on the bombing of Kabul, the invasion of Iraq. You know what I mean? Like, drop. I don't want to even say the word. Just saying the craziest shit. And I just knew, I was like, wow, okay. So like I said, I've heard some radical things when it comes to, racism and race. And this kid was saying some ones that I'd never heard. So we spent a lot of time on that. But by the end of the day, I got him to loop back to the opening statement of like, you moved here for the gun laws. And he told me about Asian hate. And he told me that, he said, all the Asian hate crimes that have happened since COVID in LA County have been black people. And he told me that when the LA riots happened, they attacked specifically the Vietnamese stores. And I've heard that before. That one I had heard before. I don't agree with it, but I've heard that. I just think Vietnamese people happen to own a lot of convenience stores, and there was a riot. So you may have felt targeted, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, I mean, like, if there was a raid on pizza in Barcelona, Middle Eastern people in Barcelona would feel attacked because they own all the pizza spots. Like, this isn't, if there was a raid on 7-Elevens in America, they'd feel like this is an Islamophobic attack. It would be well within their rights to feel that way. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was right, but he just had some nuanced and interesting views on race relations from a different perspective I'd never heard. And he moved out here for the gun laws, and I just was like, okay, he's really afraid of the riots. They freaked him out. This kid was freaked the fuck out by it. Completely freaked out by it. He moved here so he can get better guns because he was buying guns in California and putting them together, buying piece by piece on the internet, and he couldn't get a certain gun he wanted. And he didn't want to be able, he wanted to be able to legally possess it. And so he came out here, and he was, dude, this kid was, I mean, talking about 3D printing guns. He was talking about converting them to fully automatic, and just like, kind of just shit that made me extremely uncomfortable. And I was just like, dude, God fucking, what the fuck, man? Like, why do you need to be so? And I was trying to explain to him, like, hey man, I have plenty of guns, dude. I have guns. Like, I like guns. Guns are fun to shoot. I get it. I understand gun culture. Like, from all perspectives. But like, I mean, why'd you come here? Because this is a stand your ground state? Like, I mean, California, you can defend yourself too. And he just jumps into, no, all the lawsuits, all the this, all the that. You could come in and rob my house and rape my sister. And if I shoot you, I can go to jail for murder. And I'm just like, dude, like, just, they tell you all these crazy things. And it's just like, dude, I don't think that's the case. But how much more firepower do you need, dude? I have guns. But I don't have any I guess I have semi-automatics. I don't have any fully automatic. I don't have anything fully automatic. Why would I ever need that? I don't even own a pistol. Because I don't need to hide it. Why would I need to hide anything? I'm not going to take it around and I'm not going to go gallivant and hide it. I don't need to. No thanks. Don't need to. And if I am going to carry it, if I am going to drive around with it, I have a gun rack. I'll put it in the window. So you know. So everybody knows. It's out in the open. Open carry. I'm down with that. No, this came out here for the concealed carry shit. He came out here for a certain gun he couldn't get. It wasn't an AR-15. It might have been. And I was just like, dude, what the fuck for? And he just was like, this country, civil war is coming. There's gonna be a civil war. There's gonna be a race war. And he was certain of it, and it was fucking weird. It was fucking weird. But he's the one, I guarantee you right now, if it ain't the race war, he's definitely hyping up for the Ruskies. You know what I mean? Like, he's getting ready for Russia. He doesn't want a social credit score, and it's just like, it's weird because when I think of younger people, we all think of them as, and I know people my age all think of young people as like, I don't get them. They're all non-binary. They're all gender fluid. They're fucking weird. I don't understand them. And then here I'm meeting a kid who can barely drink, and this motherfucker's strapped up. He's talking about shield fucking plate slots in his vest and shit, like just shit I only hear about in Call of Duty. like, that's real? What the fuck? What do you have that for? Like, oh man. And the way he wanted to be a cop but couldn't, and I didn't press on that issue because I didn't want to end up on the list. Okay, I just didn't want to end up on this kid's list. So I pressed him, but that's why I was so logical. That's why I didn't jump him down his throat. That's why when someone just tells me, like, hey, it came out here for the gun laws, I'm like, It's like that kid in class. We had a kid in class. We knew who he was. I kind of want to look him up and see if he did anything. I don't think he did. But he was weird. He was just that dark, kind of would growl. Like, we're all black. You'd be like, what the? But I made friends with him, dude. I was like, hey, I like Slipknot. I actually like 2 or 3 of their songs. They're not bad. Like, yeah, Thursday is a pussy band. Fucking Under Oath, fucking pussy shit. Like, I was like, yeah, dog. Yep. That's what I'm talking. Lamb of God is the best. Anything you gotta hear. So this kid, I just was just suggesting books. And like, I just was explaining to him just, the history of this country and just how like incredibly racist it still is, and explained to him, just brought up the Japanese internment camps, and that's a very recent history of California. I've done shrooms and used to get high at a Japanese internment camp called the Byron Hot Springs when I was a kid. Yeah. They kept Japanese there in the 40s. And it was like a resort in the 20s that had burned down before that. And it was a weird, dark place. And it was haunted. And it was creepy. And we did drugs there. So I did drugs there in Bohemian Grove. Wouldn't do it again at either place. I suggest some place more chilled. There's no reason for that. It's very dark. Yeah, dude, I just brought up that and just like, hey, if we went to war with your country, again, I know we paid reparations to the Japanese in the 80s, but there's a chance it might happen again. It's the same place that did that. Not much, very long ago. So just, my point was to just say, just like, hey man, like don't think that like when it comes to like the team, if you have to pick team people of color, team white, don't think white people will accept you. Especially what? Do you know what white people say in private? Do you know what they'd say about people, like girls like that date black guys? Do you know what they say? And I'm people from California, people from my high school, people in their early 30s, millennials from the Bay Area, from California. What they say when there's only the whites in the room, when they think they're all good, when they think the coast is clear, and there's no SJWs in the room that are gonna rat. The shit you hear, like, come on, man. You're on the wrong. Okie doke, bro. Like, okie dokie. You better hope they stay friends with you. You better keep that accent you got working. Keep it. I met a couple minorities out here with that accent. You're just like, how'd you get that? What the fuck? They just want to fit in. And it's kind of sad, dude, but they assimilate, like they change their name from like Andres to Andrew. It's so fucking sad. But yeah, I think I don't know, the kid made me think just, we have a suicide hotline in this country. We have suicide hotlines. And he made me think that I want to start a different one just called, just a homicide hotline. I don't know if they have one, but I want to make one, just a homicide hotline. I want to do like BetterHelp. I want to make a commercial for it, just a homicide hotline where you can call anonymously and just get it all out. Because I feel like I don't personally need it, but I feel like there's some bloodletting that people are seeking right now. Like, I don't know, with the caravan shit, with Ukraine, like people are just on edge and I don't like it. I think COVID was incredibly traumatic. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, I think we all realized our government doesn't care about us. And I think 1 million people dead, you can pretend it doesn't matter, but it does. Because when 3,000 people were killed by your government on live TV, you fucking freaked out and did an about face on a race because of what they aired on TV that day. So I could definitely see how COVID is having serious traumatic effects to our psyche as a culture, and I don't hear anybody acknowledging it. I don't see it anywhere. I don't see it trending on Twitter, but I do hear people bitching about, like I said, Ukraine and geopolitics and fucking Joe Rogan. But we don't have healthcare. We don't have healthcare. But yeah, I think we need a homicide hotline in this country because the kid he had some rage and I don't know where it came from, because I was like trying to get to the bottom, like, were you attacked? No, he wasn't. He wasn't at all. But he just has this viewpoint where solidarity with African Americans means you're against Asians. And it was just weird niche. And I was just like, huh. I just was telling him, I was like, hey man, you can't put yourself in these boxes, like this binary where like if you don't fucking A, then you're fucking B. And that's going around a lot. I don't know these absolutes. I don't speak. These absolutes are just fucking. I kind of speak. Absolutes are funny to speak in. It's funny to rhetorically joke around in, but not these people. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Everything. Is it social media culture? Is that what it is? Is it all just all of us looking at our phone and only having so many characters, so we have to fit everything in one or two boxes? What is it? Why does everybody feel like they have to? You're either A or B. You're either with me or you're fucking against me. I'm with the Homicide Hotline. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get a call. Hello. Thank you for calling the Homicide Hotline. This is boop. How can I help you? Yeah, I want to fucking this motherfucker. I don't know what it would sound like. What does it sound like when people want to kill? It's probably like serious rage. I think it'd be dark, but people need jobs out there, and it's a work from home job. I got a work from home job. I think I'm gonna put this shit on Indeed. I'm gonna call my buddy who owns a couple businesses. He's always looking to invest. This might be a good idea, dude. We might get this shit on Indeed. Just do a digital homicide hotline where you could call and someone could just let you offload on them. You know what I mean? I think this is a serious business. It's a work from home, paid by the minute. Yeah, dude. I think this is good. The gig economy is going to eat this up. I kind of think this is a good idea. I'm going to stop this podcast right here. I'm going to delete this last part because I don't want anybody to steal this shit. How can I sign this off? I don't really know. I gotta delete this whole last part. So I gotta record a outro somehow. I'm gonna record an outro starting now. Listen for the beep. So yeah, that was the podcast. Yeah, I'm gonna make some more. Audibly Fat. Smash like and subscribe. Like I said, this is an audio journal. No one's listening. I don't really give a shit. Go fuck yourself. Don't steal my business. Fuck you. I'm too lazy to cut the thing off the back. I'm not going to cut that. So don't steal it. I'm going to go make it. I'm really going to call him right now. Homicide Hotline, because we got to get the blood out, baby.